Hey, what's up? It's Jang here from the friendly forums at ultimaterc.com, and I have another hot RC topic to talk about. This one has come up as a result of a lot of videos that I've put up of vehicles running through mud or salt water or salty sand at a beach, which can cause a lot of bad things to happen to your RCs. So I've gotten a lot of questions of folks asking me about, even when you have a so-called waterproof RC like the RTRs from Traxxas, how do you clean them when you're done with a really dirty bashing session? It's a great question. I've actually put up a video that shows the beginning of that process, and I'll show you a little bit of a clip here. The main thing to start out with, thankfully you've got a waterproof RC, is use more water. Spray it down with a hose, garden hose outside. Just be completely liberal with it. Get all of the big bad stuff off of there that you can. Really just cuts the entire cleaning process down to size. Helps you out a whole lot. I mean, if you've already gotten it muddy, or you've already gotten it wet, adding more water isn't going to help or isn't going to hurt anything. Just try to avoid getting water into the insides of the tires. Avoid spraying directly into the holes, the vent holes in the wheels, because once water gets into foams, you will never be able to get all of it out. You might be able to get some of it out by venting the tires and then hitting the throttle all the way, and the centrifugal effect will spray some of it out, but you'll never get all of it out, and it'll start to rot in there, and it settles when it's sitting in one place and it becomes unbalanced, and it's all bad. Try to avoid getting water into your tires. Other than that, spray everything down. If you need a little bit of help, use an old brush. Something that you can hold in your hand up close is good for scrubbing down tires, as well as the bottoms of suspension arms and stuff like that. Old cruddy old dirty toothbrush is a very useful implement to use for cleaning, and it's especially good when you're just getting the rough stuff. You get all around the hubs and the linkages and the bottom of the shocks and all that good stuff. Once you're done with the major cleaning and you're done just rinsing everything down, using it in the shower is also a good idea, especially if you have a removable shower head that you can then bring down into the tub and get right on the vehicle itself. Helps a lot, helps to really contain the mess, and you can focus the water where you need it to go. However, once you're done with that, then you're going to need to get the water off, because ultimately you need this vehicle to be dry so that you can move on to some of the next steps. Because even though a vehicle may be called waterproof, it's actually not. The electronics may be waterproof, but there are still a lot of metal components on there that can rust. And rust can be a very bad thing, especially when rust occurs on parts that move. Very bad indeed. So once you're done with your shower, and you've probably done the showering process with the body off, you want to shake the darn thing. Just shake the crap out of it as much as you can. Get as much of that water out of it. Can help to use a towel, a hand towel, kitchen towel, preferably something that you aren't going to use immediately again for your face or something like that. Something you don't mind getting dirty. There's still going to be plenty of dirt in it. Do everything that you can to get mass amounts of water that's still dripping off of the vehicle. Get it off, get it dried, shake it in different directions. It's going to take a while to do this. Once you've gotten most of the water off, I like to use a heat gun, and I set it to a very low setting so that the air that's coming out is hot but not burning hot. I don't want to melt anything with the heat gun. You can also use a hair dryer, blow dryer for this, and you want to use maximum patience for this, and you just go through the whole thing slowly. You want to get the entire thing dry, because any water that you leave is going to promote rust on all of your metal parts, and you just go through this. I can spend 15-20 minutes, maybe a half an hour might want to take the wheels and tires off also, so you can supply some hot air to the hubs. The wheels can tend to block those a little bit. Really be super patient with this, and as you go over the vehicle with some sort of source of hot air, some of the water will start to bead up again. You'll want to shake it again, get the big drops off. Do everything that you can to get it dried down, especially around any metal parts and around your bushings or your bearings. Now, speaking of bearings, if you've driven through salt water, you've driven through a lot of mud, you've gone and just gotten a lot of deep water and moisture up to the level of the hubs, the wheel hubs, maybe the differential outputs, you're probably going to want to take apart your bearings and give them a thorough cleaning. When I say take apart, I mean take apart. Fortunately, I have a video that I already did for that. I'll show you a quick clip of that. It's not a hard process to take apart a rubber sealed bearing. All of these Traxxas RTR vehicles use rubber sealed bearings. You can pop off the seal, and that lets you get inside there. You can clean it out with something like Cow RC's Mutor cleaner and degreaser. Any sort of solvent, really fine solvent, will get in there and take out the existing grease that was in there, and will also help to flush out any water. You then dry the bearing, you then re-lube it, you put the seals back on, and you're done. It takes a little bit of time, but trust me, it's really, really, really worth it, because if you seize up a bearing, which is very, very easy to do, I've had it happen to me a number of times when I was not being careful. If you seize up a bearing and you don't know about it, then you go out to drive, you're going to start to melt diff cases and hubs, and all sorts of bad things happen from that. Any ball bearings that are not stainless steel bearings that have gotten exposed to salt water or lots and lots of mud, you should just take them apart, take the time to clean them and re-lube them. Your vehicle will thank you in the long run. Also, like I said, the bearings at your diff outputs, your outdrives, you want to keep an eye on those. On the Slash 4x4 and Stampede 4x4, there are also bearings, or there's especially one bearing that holds the slipper assembly and the whole spur area, and that one tends to rust up and seize up easily, even if you're only running in dry stuff. So much dust gets in there. That one can seize up. There are 4 bolts that you want to remove, 2 of them from the top right here, 2 of them from the bottom under here. I believe they are 4mm bolts. You take those out, and then the entire rear end of the vehicle comes off just like that. It's really simple. It's something that you definitely want to do. That's going to allow you to get access to that bearing in there, and then you can clean that out. It also is going to let you get a little bit more water out from that pocket that's in there. Okay, so you've got your vehicle pretty much cleaned up, you've got it dried, you've got your bearings taken care of. What else? Joints, especially suspension joints, camber link joints, toe link joints, all of your ball ends. Also, if you have these plastic slider axles like the Traxxas vehicles have, they have these U-joints which have a metal ball in them, and those can rust up also. I like to go in with those. If you have enough time, take suspension pins all the way out. Just take them out and dry them, because a lot of water will tend to get trapped in there. Even if you've spent a lot of time with a heat gun, still a lot of water will get stuck in there. If you can, take those out and dry them off. I like to use a drying lubricant, something that is not going to stay wet, to refresh the joints and keep them running nice and soft and smooth, so your suspension doesn't start binding up on you for no reason. Cow RC Mousse Slick. This is not an advertisement. I swear I was not paid to do this. I use this stuff. Cow RC Mousse Slick is a spray-on silicone-based lubricant. Once you spray it on, it's going to dry, and it becomes just a very, very thin, dry film that just helps to keep ball ends and suspension pins and such very low in friction, so you don't get binding. It also helps to repel water the next time you go through water, and it helps to prevent rust from forming just from slight amounts of moisture that stick around. So all that is what I do every time that I run a vehicle through salt water or through deep mud. Sounds like a lot. The alternative is not doing that, maybe just brushing it off a little bit, or gosh, pretty much the worst thing that I think you can do when you've got a lot of water is to use something like compressed air and try to blow it off, because when you're blowing it, you're actually going to blow a lot of stuff deeper into places, such as bearings especially. You'll blow more water past the seals. You'll blow water farther into the diff case or farther into suspension pins. Really recommend against just using compressed air if you've got a lot of water going on. If it's dry dirt or just slightly damp stuff, then blow it off, sure, no problem. But stuff that has a lot of water content in it, try not to make the problem worse. But if you don't do all of that stuff, you're going to end up with a vehicle that will be driving slowly. It will have suspension that will bind up, where you'll land a jump and then it'll just kind of get stuck there, or you just put it on the ground and you can do like this and it's not going to come back. See, this is coming back, that's the way it's supposed to work, but it'll just get stuck because not only are your suspension pins all bound up from little light surface rust on them and dirt and mud that's in them, your camber links are also going to contribute to that. Your steering is going to become sluggish because you've got rusting going on in there. Just so many bad things that can happen from it. If you're not going to be willing to take the time to clean your vehicle properly, don't complain if everything goes wrong with it. Seriously, there is a responsibility to running these vehicles. Even a vehicle that is marketed as waterproof, that just means that it won't break down in water, doesn't mean that you can get away with never cleaning it. That's the basic process that I go through for cleaning my so-called waterproof vehicles. Vehicles that are not waterproof, that don't have waterproof electronics, I just don't run them through mud and water because I don't want to lose $100, $200 worth of electronic equipment. I really don't. But hope this was a useful video for you. I know this has been a hot RC topic. A lot of people asking, especially now that as of the time of this video, we are in the winter season. There's a lot of snow in a lot of places. There's a lot of rain. People want to take advantage of their waterproof vehicles without getting them ruined. Oh hey, do you have a hot RC topic that you want to talk about? Well, don't ask me about it on YouTube because I'm sorry, but I literally cannot keep up with the comments on the hundreds of videos that I have online on 4 different YouTube channels right now. Also, YouTube really wasn't made for discussions. It was never designed for it. It's designed as a place to share videos. You know what is designed for discussions though? Forums. Post up your questions on the friendly forums at ultimaterc.com and you'll have a much better chance of getting attention from not only me, but also hundreds and even thousands of other RC hobbyists out there that have decades of experience that's different from mine, same as mine. It's always good to get multiple opinions and you have a lot better chance of getting an answer very quickly. Hope to see you on the friendly forums at ultimaterc.com. Thanks.